Hello and welcome to round 4 of the GT7 Season 8 Championship for Tier 2. I'm your commentator for today, Ross Thorm, who is coincidentally actually racing in this race. I am providing commentary because we don't have a commentator for Tier 2 and we couldn't get cover. So anyway, let's go through the grid. We've got Turbo, who is on pole. This is actually only his second qualifying session and he managed to get pole position straight off, well, at the second time of asking. Then we have Jack lining up right behind him. He finished... well, he's moved pretty close to the top. He's definitely a championship contender now, and Chris behind him as well, and Payan. All three of these really high up in the championship. Then we've got Woozy in 5th place, probably his best qualifying, I think, and then me, and then Owen, who another championship contender, actually had quite a poor qualifying down in 7th. They've got Hims 8th, Tap 9th, Andy Winders 10th. Bet 11th, Harry, also known as Mighty Mini Smiley, is 12th. Then we got DDK in 13th, Refract in the Ferrari in 14th, and Funk is down in 15th. So yeah, let's get started. This is the sprint race. So we're going to have 2 laps around here. And it's lights out, away we go. It looks like a pretty decent start from everybody. It's a very short run down to turn 1, so it doesn't look like any overtakes are going to get done. Pretty slow further back, but let's rejoin the front and see how these guys are doing. Looks like I've got a little queue behind me. I've got Owen already chasing me, trying to get past. So it'll be my job to try and hold him back for my teammate Jack to get a better result. But yeah, all line astern through the first sector. Absolutely nothing to report just yet. Looks like Gerbo's actually managed to get away from Jack pretty quickly at this point as we enter the second sector. This is a very fast double right-hander, which you don't have to brake for as we go down. This is all an incredibly high-speed portion of the track as we approach this corner right here, which I've called Death Corner. It has taken a lot of drivers out over the races around Nordschleife, but Jack has a little twitch and he manages to control it pretty well, but Chris is really close behind him. What's going on a little bit further back? Still no changes at all in the running order here. Hims has got quite a gap ahead of Tap though. So we'll stay with the battle between Jack and Chris because this is the closest one. Payan dropping off a little bit behind them there. Yeah, I've managed to maintain the gap to Gerbo, so it doesn't look like he's extended in this second or third sector. But they are queuing up behind Jack at the moment. Just a reminder, this is the first of only 2 laps because the lap is so long. We're going to do a 2-lap race here instead of a 15-minute race, but it should work out pretty much the same. And Payan's hit the wall, unfortunately. He was so close to Chris. Actually, he hasn't lost that much time. But he does have damage now, so Woozy will have a chance to overtake him coming into the next couple of corners. He'll have trouble steering there with his damage on the front right tyre. This is going to allow Chris and Jack to just pull away as well. But no, he's managed to consolidate P4 there. As you see, there's a little queue behind me now, behind them as well. Oh, he got really close, Woozy did there. Payan has no more damage anymore, so we can start trying to drive away from Woozy as we go up the hill. This is a flat-out uphill for about 20 or 30 seconds, but there is really only one line through because there are a lot of corners here that you don't have to brake for, which does complicate matters. A little bit further back. Woozy, Owen's trying to have a look down the inside of me because I don't have the best straight line speed up here, but I managed to keep that position. Payan and keeps P4 for now as well. But Woozy really is looking like he wants to seize an opportunity here. It's Payan gets it all wrong. Really difficult those corners without have the steep gradient, the steep camber, and now he's opened the door for Woozy as they're going side by side down another section of the track where going side by side isn't easy. But Payan manages to keep P4 again. But he's losing a lot of ground to the top three. Oh, he's got off track a little bit there. I don't know if he was pushed or if it was a bit of a twitch, but he's rejoined just in front of me. And he's all out of shape, and he's off track again. Off track again, and now he's going to drop all the way down. So that's gifted everyone a free position in the top, well, between 4th and 7th as he's off track again. He's probably got dirty tyres and he's got some damage as well. And that's going to really penalise him. So, championship contender, absolutely. Don't know what's going on up here. Woozy actually lost a position to me. Let's rewind that a little bit. Woozy goes all sideways and into the wall. Doesn't manage to get damage and rejoins just in front of Owen, which is really lucky for me. Gives me a bit of a break. And now it looks like Hims might be challenging Owen as well. But Owen manages to keep P6. Really close battling all the way through the field here. And Woozy's off again, and he's gonna get overtaken by Owen and Hims, and that's his challenge for a decent sprint race result pretty much finished. Let's join the battle at the front. We're about to go onto the main straight, which the Porsche does have a bit of a better straight line speed than the Nissan. So Chris has a bit of an advantage going onto this straight. And he's close enough to try and get a move done as we pass the penalty zone. Huge penalties if you pass this zone. So Jack's protecting the inside line. He's going to have to make Chris go around the outside. Beautiful line. We can see all the cars behind challenging. Looks like Chris might get the job done before the kink, before the braking zone, but Jack's still there. And yeah, quite a straightforward move there under braking for Chris. And now Jack will have to kind of harry him and harass him all the way through this second and final lap. But Gerbo completely in control as we see him coming through. 5 seconds ahead of Chris now. Jack in third, me in fourth, so pretty good result as it stands for the Nissan team in third and fourth. Owen has dropped a little bit back behind me and he's getting chased down by Hims quite a lot. And now we've got Tap in seventh, just quietly progressing up the field. DDK in eighth, exactly the same. Andy Winters in ninth, who we haven't seen at all so far in this race. And Woozy has dropped all the way back to 10th. 11th place for Harry, Mighty Mini Smiley in his Ford, which isn't the best car to drive around this track, to be honest. And then BO in 13th. Payan has dropped all the way down to 13th. BO was in 12th. Funk in 14th in his McLaren, and Refract in the Ferrari, bringing up the rear. But let's join Turbo, see how he does for a few corners. So this lap, whoever says the fastest lap on this lap will get the fastest lap bonus point, because it's the only full lap. The standing start laps are a lot slower. Chris just ahead of Jack at the moment still. So Jack hasn't, they're definitely the same kind of pace on these soft tyres. Really important to finish ahead of the other for both of them here for the championship. all the gaps seem to be pretty consistent as well. Everyone seems to be lapping pretty consistently as it stands. Let's rejoin the battle for second. Chris goes a little bit wide there, but doesn't seem to lose much time. But it looks like Jack might have a little run at him. But it's a very short straight here with a little kink. You don't really have to brake for this corner, or maybe just ever so slightly towards this braking zone here. Oh, something's happened to Gerbo. Let's rewind. Bear in mind he had about probably 5, maybe even more. He just goes a little bit too wide on the exit of that corner. Really easy to do if you carry too much speed. And he's all out of shape there. And he's going so slow as well. So Chris, is Jack going to be able to get him as well? Jack's stuck a little bit behind him, but the door's left open. And Jack's got P2 and Gerbo's down to P3. So all that good work that he did in the opening 9 minutes, I would say, has completely been undone. And now he's going to be stuck behind these two. This has helped Chris out as well, because he's got way more of a gap to Jack behind him than he had previously as we head up to the uphill section. Gerbo in the BMW does have the pace advantage as well. In terms of the engine anyway. So if he could stay close enough to these two, he could overtake both of them in theory on the straight. But he does look like he's losing a bit of pace to them now actually. What's his tyres? His tyres are a lot more worn. Chris has pretty good tyres. Jack's a little bit worse and Gerbo's a little bit worse again from him. So if he's going to be losing pace, that'll be exactly the reason why. It looks like the top 3 are still quite far away from the rest of the pack, which I'm leading ahead of Owen, who's managed to shake off Hims a little bit there. Actually, Hims has dropped right down. As we've got Tap up into P6 now. He's still hanging on in there with his worn tyres. But yeah, everyone's having a bit of trouble. Looks like Chris has extended the lead a little bit more on Jack as well. But he does go wide there, which is going to help Jack close the door a little bit. And he's sliding through this corner as well. So maybe just take a little bit too much speed through these corners with the tyres being slightly worn. Yeah, Jack has to close the gap a little bit, or else he won't benefit from the slipstream at all. And he really needs to be close to Chris if he wants to try and get an overtake done on the straight, because of the engine disadvantage that he's got. He is closing the door a little bit there, though. Looks like they've both shook off Gerbo now, who's probably a second or two behind. So we're on to the straight for the final time of this sprint race. Chris definitely has, well, he might be outside of slipstream now. It looks like it might just be line astern, but we've got Gerbo. Is he going to close the gap a little bit? Let's have a look. He is closing the gap somewhat, but it's not going to be enough. So let's join back on with Chris, who, as we go through these final few corners, this is set to be his very first win in ALR. He's had plenty of podiums, always been a front runner in Tier 2. This is going to be his first win of his ALR career. Jack P2, which is his joint best result. Gerbo P3, his first podium in ALR as well. We have a bit of a battle going on between me and Owen. Let's have a quick look here. So he's got the run on me going down the straight. I protect the inside here. Owen looks like he backs out of it a little bit, and then he's just a bit better on brakes and kind of ambushes me there and grabs P4, which is actually a pretty good result for him. Damage limitation for his championship hopes, but he couldn't challenge the top 3. So Owen crossed the line P4, I get 5th, DDK, solid drive through the field from the back in 6th, tap in 7th. Andy Winters, very quiet in 8th. Woozy was in the top 4 at the start, but he's going to finish in P9. And Hims had a bit of a nightmare on the last lap as well. He's going to come home in 10th. And then outside the points, we've got Payan way back. So he must have had a few more mistakes to be this far back. This is incredibly harmful for his championship hopes. P11 Payan. Funk in 12th, Ben in 13th, and then right at the back we've got Mighty Mini Smiley in his Ford, which doesn't like this track too much. And we've got the Ferrari, which doesn't like any track. It's bloody horrible, but let's ride on board with Refract. This was, I think, his debut in ALR, and it's not been the best one, but he has been stuck with the Ferrari, which is pretty unfortunate. But at least he'll get a reverse grid pole out of this. So chance to salvage something in the feature race. Chris also gets the fastest lap, so that's an extra bonus point for him. And that's your lot. So great set of results there, especially for Chris and Jack. Really important that they put some space between themselves and Owen in the championship battle. But yeah, join me for the feature race shortly, where I will be seeing how everyone does making it through the field in a track which is pretty difficult to overtake in.